All right, let's talk some real politics now, and it's been a debate topic among Democrats and progressives. You ever see Obama and Clinton? I'm not talking about Hillary, but Obama and Bill working on the same page. We all know how bitter the last election was between the Clinton and Obama camps, and a lot of hard feelings apparently persisted after the election. But it seems that's forgotten here because they have an election to win. Andrew, this is a very interesting marriage of sorts here, and a lot of people have been rooting for it, but a lot of people have been more than a little bit hesitant to get them together.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bill Clinton and an interesting marriage. You set me right up. Rich is going to be in Charlotte for the Democratic Convention. So will President Obama, and so will Bill Clinton, the 42nd president, not only invited to speak at the convention, but at the direct request of President Obama, the former president will have the high-profile Wednesday night speaking slot and will formally place Barack Obama's name into nomination. Obama and Clinton reportedly speak often, and Clinton's primetime role at the convention should put to rest any lingering doubts about their relationship from the '08 primary fight between Obama and Hillary Clinton, Rich. And so it's got everybody's tongues wagging.
Well, let me ask you. You think it's a good move for Obama?
I do. I think the key for Obama, as we've talked on the show many times, is rallying the base and getting as big a percentage of the voters that he had in 2008 to come out to the polls. Bill Clinton is a very good spokesperson for doing that. Bill Clinton seems to speak directly to Democratic voters. They respond to him. Why not? Well,
Dom, is there a risk, though, that the public sees Bill Clinton says, I like those 8 years better than these last 4? Is there a chance Obama gets overshadowed?
Well, anywhere President Bill Clinton happens to be, the other person is overshadowed. That's just the natural.
Even Barack Obama?
Even Barack Obama. But if you're Barack Obama, the name of the game is to win. And so that's why President Clinton will be placing his name into nomination. President Clinton is beloved in this country. And if you're Obama, you want to remind Americans of the good fiscal times during the Clinton years with the hope that you're the guy that can return to those days. Great move, great move.
Gina, there's also a little bit of math going on here, right? I mean, a lot of people thought if Gore didn't treat Bill Clinton like he was the plague here, he would have been sitting in the Oval Office instead of George W. Bush in 2000. They remember Tennessee and Arkansas, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is a great move for Barack Obama, but it's also a great move for the Clintons. And I say the Clintons in plural, because I think you've got to think Bill Clinton is not acting just for Barack Obama. He may believe he's the better candidate, and he may believe he's better for the country than Mitt Romney, but he is acting on behalf of the Clintons. So you have to imagine there's a political calculation. No, but she doesn't have to be if Bill Clinton is there as her surrogate. Who doesn't want Bill Clinton as a surrogate? So this works not only for Barack Obama, this works potentially for Hillary Clinton as well. Should Barack Obama lose, should he win, Hillary Clinton could potentially be a candidate.
I bet you, without looking at the polling, I'm right.
And go
that
Hillary.
Among Democrats, the most popular Democrat, I told you 4 years ago, between Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Hillary Clinton, would have been Hillary Clinton, clearly. I think the Democrats like her more than even those two guys right now, but we shall see. All right. Now, we're also making this online question for you guys at home. I want to know if you think Barack and Bill BFF alliance here is a smart move for the president. The table certainly thinks so. Or could be perceived as a sign of weakness or even desperation. Please go to Richard French Live on Facebook and tweet your comment to @RichardFrenchLive. Now, next up, he's back if he ever went away. Dick Cheney may be gone from the White House, but he still has a lot to share, and with some very unkind words for the sitting president and the woman who would have succeeded him as vice president. Andrew?
Well, Rich, there's no way I could do Dick Cheney's words justice, so we'll just let him speak for himself.
I like Governor Palin. I've met her, I know her. She's an attractive candidate, but based on her background, she'd only been governor for about 2 years. I don't think she passed that test.
Of being ready.
Of being ready to take over. And I think that was a mistake. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of President Obama. I think he's been one of our weakest presidents. I just fundamentally disagree with him philosophically. Be hard put to find any Democratic president that I've disagreed with more than Barack Obama. Yeah.
Worse than Jimmy Carter, from your perspective?
Yes.
Doesn't President Obama deserve credit for the war on terror? I mean, you've got 24 or so high-value al-Qaeda targets that have been taken out. Bin Laden's dead. I mean, you can't say he's been soft on terror, can you?
I wouldn't say he's been soft on terror, but I think he's made a number of mistakes. bin Laden, fine. A lot of that intelligence that laid the groundwork for what ultimately led to the capture of bin Laden came as a result of programs we had in place in the Bush administration.
Bin Laden, fine. I'll give you that one. How good of a...
Bin Laden, America's #1 most wanted man,
Worse than Carter. He didn't take a breath. He just punched that one out here. This rally the base, you think a little bit here? Or
which base?
Exactly.
Which base? Because frankly, Dick Cheney needs to, as my grandmother would say raising me, boy, you need to go somewhere and sit down. I'm not referring to the former vice president as boy, but Mr. Cheney, it's time. The American people don't like you. Look at your own poll numbers. We don't care what you think. And no one is ever qualified for president or vice president until they're in the seat, including you, Mr. Cheney.
Cheney, help me out. Why did he take a shot at Palin? Whatever you think of Dick Cheney, and I'm not his biggest fan, but no one's going to question he's shrewd. And he's extremely calculated. He chose to make this moment here the opportunity to make himself heard. Why did he take a shot at Palin?
Well, this is what I find interesting, is the media board today, listen to what he said. She's a nice woman. I like her.
He said not ready for prime time.
Yes, because she was governor for 2 years. He took a very small objection to her being named vice president, and people are acting like he said something horrible about her. All of you, by the way, excuse me, all of you, by the way, agree with him, and yet he says it, and you're upset about it, or you're excited about it. I don't know which.
With Sarah Palin
I'm just saying, Richard, I'm wondering if you're bored.
Mr. Cheney, what do you think about, how could you have answered this if you didn't want to make a headline? What do you think about Sarah Palin?
Well, I think she's a woman who just was with a little more seasoning would have made it. I think she could have learned on the job and been a wonderful vice president.
But that's not
certainly
true.
Would have
That's
been,
not
she
what
had great
any
people
of you
surrounding
think.
her.
None of you think that. So why would you imagine that a former vice president should say that? That's what I'm saying.
If you're
what
rooting
he
for
said
your
was
party's
very
success
measured.
in the general election,
Richard,
I just
what
don't get
he said was very measured. A nice woman. She had a lot of potential. That might have been a little too early in her career. All of you agree with that. So I'm wondering what's the big deal.
My translation from reading that was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I think that's what he was trying to say.
I agree.
Thank you, Dominic.
You're all wrong.
Brother Dominic, right
I will support these women to my death. Go,
I hear
Sarah.
Jeannie roar. Go roar, Jeannie.